Hope everybody's doing good today, having a good Saturday. I'm having a great Saturday. So I am here in my drum room or my office, if you would, and I have some snare drums here and some drums. And I kind of just want to let everyone know or kind of see what I'm playing, kind of give some story, some context behind why I'm playing these drums. I get some questions about my drums from time to time, my snare drums. Not really my drum kits, but I'm an avid snare drum collector. And why do I collect them? I don't know. Do you need all these drums? Absolutely not. But like a lot of other musicians, drummers, guitar players, what have you, it's kind of like an addiction. You start getting one and then you end up getting two and three, and then it turns into like 25, 35, 50, sometimes 100. So I'm gonna take you on a little tour, kind of explain my drums, and if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section below. I will answer them, all right? Thank you. All right, let's start over here. We got the first drum is gonna be our 7x14 Elvin Jones signature snare drum model. I got this drum from Ishibashi Music in Japan. Man, it's probably been about 10 years now since I had this drum. Great drum, 7x14 maple shell. Not something I play out too often. This drum definitely is a collector's model. I would say by now you can't find it. And if you do, it's gonna probably cost a little bit of money. But great drum, feels really good to play. You can really lay into it. I don't know what to say. I just really love the wood hoops, the Yamaha vintage wood hoops. Great drum, great feel, and just a great drum to look at. Beside that, we have the 6x14 Anton Fig snare drum. Got this drum in New York. Wow, almost 20 years ago now. I remember this drum was common. Anton Fig played on The Tonight Show for years. That's David Letterman with the world's most dangerous band, I think they were called. Great drummer, great drum. Again, another drum that feels good to lay into. Is there a difference between the Elvin and this one? Not really, it's the difference of an inch. Both maple shells, but pretty much just both good drums. Great side stick you can get off of both these drums. Great crack. Again, I just love playing it, feels good, and I love the vintage wood hoops. We come down here to Ludwig. So this is a 8x14 copper snare drum. Remember I got this maybe 7 years ago. I got this drum when it first came out, I think, or maybe not. I don't know, it was probably new to me. But I picked it up, loved playing it. Again, just laying into this thing, especially when it's tuned kind of medium to low, feels good. Most of my heads on these drums are gonna be the CS dotted by Remo. That's most of my drums, that's what I play. That's the head I'm gonna play on my snare drums. Right next to it, we got a Black Beauty. Not much to be told about that. This drum just works. It just sings. It feels good. Most of my Ludwig snares, you're gonna notice that I have the P86 throw off. I love that way more than I think the P83. I forget the name of the ones that it came with, but I changed mine to the P86. That one as well has a P86, if you can see it back there. P86. Black Beauty, 6.5x14. It's just a classic. Come down here to the Copperphonic, 6.5x14. Love that one too. Can't go wrong with it. Great sounding snare drum. This just has a metal shell, thick, gives you the backbeat you need, responsive, it just works. Sounds good recorded as well. Copper over here, so I guess you would say this is the little brother to this guy right here. This is 6.5x14 copper snare drum. Again, it just works. Do I hear much of a difference between this one and this one? A little bit, but again, under microphones, probably not. It's just a great sounding drum. CS coated dot on the top is what I use, and then the Ambassador one ply on the bottom. Clear, obviously, or hazy. I should say obviously, because some people may use coated. I don't know, but pretty much the standard, the one ply on the bottom. But it just works. And that's Ludwig. Down here, Craviato. Little story behind this one. Got this drum in 2016. Funny thing is I ordered this drum and forgot that I ordered it from Steve Maxwell, Vintage Drums. They called me and said, hey, there's a drum that we have and ready to ship. Totally forgot that I had purchased a walnut snare drum. Crazy thing about this drum is I got it in 2016 right after Johnny passed. And when I got the drum, they told me that this was probably one of the last drums that he had signed before passing. So, you know, great piece of history to have with this snare drum. Great drum, walnut, double inlay, trick throw off. Again, it sounds really good. This drum I haven't played too much, but it sounds fantastic when I did play it, and I'm certain I will again in the future. Down below we have a 6.5 by 14. That's a Ludwig. It's like a curly maple. I forget what it's actually called, but it's a gloss finish. It's a wood drum, maple drum, I believe. I think it's bird's eye maple. I believe this one is bird's eye maple. Great sounding drum. That one I kept the original head, the Ludwig meat heavy head that came with it. Can't go wrong with that again. I mean, tune these drums up, they just sing. I mean, it's the reason why Ludwig has been out forever and ever. Here we have a Ludwig 8x14. That's a gloss finish as well. Maple shell, can't go wrong with that. Again, CS dot on top. Just another classic drum. I love I actually kind of got this drum because of the bow tie lugs on it. To be honest with you, I don't think I even ever really played this drum, and I've had it for years, but just another piece of history in my collection that sounds really, really good. Let's go up here, and we're gonna go to, what we have up here. Oh, so this is a drum that I kind of just noticed one day. It's a, what is this? British drums. And I think this is, the shell is called U, I think. Y-E-W, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm incorrect, someone can put that in the comments and correct me on what this drum is. I know it's 6.5 by 14. Very light shell, I will say that. Light shell, fun to play, responsive. I did a video on this one a couple years ago during the pandemic, but again, can't go wrong with it. Sounds good, but it is very light. It's kind of deceiving, the weight of the shell, but fun to play. Third and fourth drums, my good friend Edwin makes these drums. These drums sound fantastic. I did not really a video on this, but I played a sound check and I recorded it. It's on YouTube. This drum sounds amazing. 10 lugs, walnut, ash, walnut. I mean, it just does what it's supposed to do. I did not know about these drums. I don't know how I came up about it, but when I got this one, I got another one from Edwin. You can actually get one of Edwin's drums right now at Forks Drum Closet. He has one, a 10 lugger, similar to this, but I think that one is brass at not Forks, I'm sorry, Nelson's Drum Shop. You can find it at Nelson's Drum Shop. It's there right now, so I would say grab it. This is a 6x14 right here, great sounding drum. 10 lugs. There's something about the single flange hoops that just sing with this drum, and Edwin's craftsmanship is just second to none. So check it out. Pearl copper. This is the free floaters. I was in love with these for a period of time, still am. It's not my go-to anymore, but at the time it was. Copper, and here you have the maple. These are 5x14s. This is Joyful Noise. Kurt, great guy over there. This is a brass shell. Love this drum. Again, CS dot right there. You can actually see, I haven't played this drum since January of 2015. I mean, it's been a while. I kind of put some notes on my drums as far as last time played, or the time that I put the head on there, just to let me know kind of roundabout when I should change it. But again, great drum, brass shell, nice thick beat, kind of put you in the mind of the old 1920s nickel over brass drums. Here we have a Craviotto, walnut again. Now this drum right here is one of those drums I always wanted, but didn't get an opportunity to get because it's hard to find the wood hoops. But finally found one, wood hoops. This one is 8 lugs. Inlay, this one has baseball bat on the top and I believe 45 on the bottom. It's a different sound or feel but it's still, I mean, it's a different feel, but it sounds amazing. Kind of has to get, in my opinion, gets a little bit, you have to kind of get used to the feel of the stick of the rebound on this drum. But it's a great sounding drum. Again, I haven't played it too many times, but something good for the arsenal and sounds great under microphones. Here we have another Pearl free floater like the one before. This is just a 6.5 by 14 maple. Again, just a great all-around drum. Records really well. I like these die-cast hoops because it really controls the tone, the overtones, and it gives you just the right smack that you need. This drum right here, oh man, 7 by 12. This drum was known as the Dennis Chambers model, the soprano snare drum. If you had this drum, if you were drumming in the 90s, you had to have this drum. Got this drum in 94. I was 14 years old. Quick story behind this drum. I took this drum the first time I got it to an engagement at a church, and I was playing that service, and then it was time for my group to get on, so I put the snare drum on. I'm sorry, before my group came on, there was another group that came on, and that group that came on, their drummer wasn't there, so the organist asked me to go ahead and play. So I put my snare drum, this drum brand new, on the basket, getting ready to play. And as soon as they started the song, or was about to start the song, the drummer comes in from the back door. I didn't have an opportunity to take my drum back off. He ended up playing it, and I mean, he wailed on my drum. He played well, but he killed my snare drum. At the end of that performance, he says to me, "Yo, what drum was that? It sounded so good." I was almost in tears that another drummer had played my snare drum for the first time, and I mean wailed on it. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that. Probably not the greatest feeling, but hey, we get over it, right? But I'll never forget that. 1994, and I still have that drum, this drum right here, 7 by 12 Pearl soprano snare drum. Free floater again, we have that's a brass 3.5 by 14. Again, back in the day, especially if you were in New York, maybe other states as well, but definitely New York, you had to play a piccolo in the 90s. That was the thing. If you didn't have a piccolo and a DW pedal, you weren't doing anything. So I played these piccolos back then. I don't play piccolos much anymore, but I did at that time, and it's still good to have it. This drum right here, this is a 1971 Superphonic Ludwig. This drum sounds amazing. Something that Ludwig did in those days that just can't be duplicated. I love the drum. I don't play this one out. I don't think I ever have, but it's so sensitive. It even has the internal muffler, but great drum. I get a lot of my tips or inspiration from Terry and George, flutists from Chicago, Bonzology and Bonzolium, I believe it is. Those guys are like gurus when it comes to Ludwig and Bonham. And I love learning about that stuff from them. So they're true inspirations. Check out their pages if you get an opportunity. Speaking of Ludwig and talking about those guys, we have here 1920 6.5 by 14 Black Beauty, the engraved model. Hard drum to come by. This is a 10 lug. I have the original parts. These are different lugs that I put on here just because the other ones were a little bit messed up, and I wanted to play the drum a little bit. I don't really lay into this drum, but it sounds great under mics. It can record very well. I just grabbed this one. Someone had it on Reverb one day. I'm telling you, if you want to find something, just continue to look on Reverb. You will find it eventually. Keep your eyes open, but be ready to grab it when it comes up. 6.5 by 14 Black Beauty. Those of you who know about this drum, it needs no introductions. This is what they call the poor man's Black Beauty. This is a 4 by 15 heavy brass 1920s two-piece nickel over brass. It's a 4 by 15 great drum. Again, it just speaks. Anyone who knows about these drums, especially the Nashville drummers, they will have at least one in their collection for recordings because it just works. Same drum here, just a different size, 5 by 14. You see the thick beaded shell, okay? You gotta have that. Again, heavy brass. This is 5 by 14, 1920s, two-piece. Again, 1920s, 5 by 14, two-piece. All right, there you go. You want to make certain, just to show you, if you're looking for one of these drums, make sure you have the logo right here that says Ludwig, okay? Gotta have that, gotta have the thick beaded shell. This one is a 10 lug. This one is a 8 lug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, this is an 8 lug, 10 lug, both 5x14. Here's another 5x14, same drum. Difference with this one is it has a timepiece throw off back here, as you can see. So the throw off is a little different. Again, great drum. I don't remember where I got this drum from. I think I got this one in a 4x15 from the same gentleman, but great drum. This one right here is a 5x15. It took a little while to pull the trigger on this one, but I decided to. This one really speaks. I'm so glad I got this drum. Got it for a great price. These drums can be very expensive, and for great reason, because I mean, it's just a piece of history. And not only that, it's not something that you have to keep in the closet. You can actually use these drums. It really, really works, and they sound good. 5x15. This drum is a killer. Matter of fact, I may even use this drum tomorrow now that I'm saying it. 5x15. Down here, let's go here first. We have a 6.5x15 8 lugger. Another great story with this drum. I bought this drum from Clash Music in Minneapolis, I believe it is. Bought the drum. I was contemplating getting it. I lost out. Then I told, I forget the guy's name, the owner or someone at the shop, if you ever get another drum like this, you know, let me know. Or if it, you know, comes through, something happens that, you know, the owner or the person who purchased it didn't want it, whatever, let me know. About a week later, they called me and said, hey, the drum came back. At that time, there was a fire, or those fires, I think, in California, and shipping couldn't go to California. UPS couldn't get there. So the person who purchased the drum couldn't purchase it because they couldn't receive it. I ended up grabbing it. One of the best moves I ever made. 6.5x15, again, heavy shell, 2-piece nickel over brass. This drum right here is the drum. 6.5x14, nickel over brass, heavy piece, 2-piece shell. Again, there's that logo that says Ludwig. You gotta make sure you see that. This drum is so hard to find. It's an 8 lugger. The 8 lugger or 10 luggers are hard to find. I will tell you, if you can grab one, even if it's 3, 4, 5,000, get it, because they only go up in price, one, and then number two, they are the type of drums that you just, it can't be, the sound cannot be beat or duplicated. Many people have tried, it just won't, it's just not gonna happen. There was something that Ludwig did in those days, that in the 1920s, that's just, it can't be duplicated. There's a reason why people are still using those drums 100 years later. So if you can get one, 8 lug or 10 lug, grab it. I don't know if there's any out there, but I would check, see if you can get you one. This is the Pioneer. They say it was a student model, but it sounds amazing. 6.5x14, I have one myself. Here's a 4x14. Same thing, heavy 2-piece shell, nickel over brass. And I have another one right here, same drum, 4x14. Again, these drums are just of such, man, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you just can't beat them. If you can grab it, grab it. Don't be like me, please. Don't make the mistake and try to wheel and deal and you lose out. If you see it at a price that you can afford, just grab it, all right? Let's go to the floor. What do we have here? I'll go this way so you can see. This is a 6.5x14 Dennis Chambers model. This was a great drum back in the day. This is actually like my go-to drum right now. My workhorse. I play this all the time and love it. Just a great drum. I mean, just sounds solid. I love this drum because it has dual strainers on this drum. So one on this side, one on that side. So it gives like that extra sensitivity or that extra allowance for adjustment to kind of dial in exactly where you want it. Great drum if you can find one. Juan Carlito Mendoza, I saw him using one. I had one years ago and got rid of it, and then when I saw him using one, I got one again. And again, great drum, can't be beat. LM402, the bottom drum, 6.5x14. Nothing to say about that. Just a great drum. Everyone knows that. Been on plenty of records. I'm gonna skip this drum for a second. Sonar Pro Light 6x14. Awesome drums. This is like, I would probably say these are like the Rolls Royce of drums. I mean, they're just made so well. You just can't beat it. This drum right here is that other drum I was telling you from Third and Fourth. Edwin, sorry. He made this drum. This is a zebra wood drum, and sounds like a drum. If you go to their YouTube page, they did a video on this drum. Great drum. This drum is 8 lug. I believe theirs that they did the video on was a 10 lugger, but super sensitive, just amazing drums. Again, if you can get something from Edwin, go right ahead and get it. I mean, I'm gonna get another one from him in the very near future. So Third and Fourth drums, this is the zebra shell, and the other one I showed you was walnut and ash. This is Rogers. So I got the Rogers 5x14. This is the 6.5x14. I forget the exact name, but I know it's chrome over brass. Good buddy of mine, George Slepik, played this drum for a long time and turned me on to it. Again, the 6.5 doesn't come up too often, but I found one back in July and I grabbed it. Great condition. If anyone knows what the name of this drum is, just put it in the comments so everyone would know. Great drums if you can. This drum I think is from 1969, and this is from around the same time. Great drums. This is a LM400. I showed you the 402. This is the 400, so this is the 5x14. Again, great drum. Can't go wrong with it. I just love it, love it, love it. And you just gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to drums, you know? Just great drums. Let's go over here to these drums over here, and let's see what we have here. So we have the 8x14. We have the 8x14 Jara. This is a Jara ply drum. Then we have the 8x14 Jara Block drum. Had these for years. Forget where I got it from. I think I probably got it from either Forks or Memphis Drum Shop. But again, great drums right here. So this is a Jara Block. This is a Jara Ply 8x14. This is a Shioak Block 8x14 Shioak Block. This is a 7x13, great size. Steve Jordan plays this size a lot with John Mayer. 7x13 Wandu block. This is a 6.5x14. This is a Shioak block drum. And this is a 6.5x14 Wandu black drum. Wandu block. And all of the Brady drums have the trick throw off. Some of them are stepped, some of them are not stepped, but great drums. You have gloss or you have the matte finish. So I have a few gloss and a few matte. I only have one gloss and the rest are matte. Here we have a 5x14. This is Jara. I don't have too many 5x14s. I'm more of a 6.5x14 player. Or 8x14, but this is 5x14 or 5.5x14, I believe. Ply drum, Jara. Here we have A&F. Love those guys over there. Rami makes some great drums in his team. This is a 5x14 A&F steel 8 lugger. This is a 6.5x14 A&F steel 8 lugger, and this is a brass 10 lugger, a 6.5x14 brass drum. All sensitive drums, really good drums. I mean, this is a drum that really is metal, but gives the warmth of wood when you hit it. And I can honestly say that with all of these drums, you cannot go wrong. Let's go back over to over here to this drum that I want to talk about for a second, which is the 6.5 by 14. Let's see here. 6.5 by 14. Yeah, 6.5 by 14 nickel over brass. So this is the same drum that I showed before. The only difference with this drum is that this drum is a 10 lugger instead of an 8 lugger. Again, if you can find this drum, these drums anywhere, and again, make certain that you have or you see the, make sure that you see the Ludwig, if you can see that. See, it says Ludwig, you gotta make sure it says Ludwig right there. And it's a thick beaded shell. These drums are second to none. I look daily to see if I can find one of these on Reverb or eBay or anywhere. They're hard to come by, but if you can get it, any size really, but if you can get a 6.5 by 14, I think you have the best of both worlds. I read somewhere where these drums actually play deeper than they really are. So if you have a 4, then it's like playing a 5 or 5.5. If you have a 6.5, it's like playing a 7, you know, but they sound so good. 10 lug or 8 lug, you can't go wrong. But special drum, this one I have a regular ambassador coated. You don't really need the CS on this one. But great drum if you can get it. I would just say buy one. Don't worry about the price, because you will not be disappointed. Not at all. Again, great drums here. Let me see, I got one more in here that I didn't see. Let's see what this one is. I think this one is, I think I played this one last week, so that's what's in this bag. Let's see. Let's see what this is. So this is, oh, this is another Craviato. This is a Craviato ash drum, 10 lug, 6.5 by 14. The only difference is this is a little older, so it doesn't have the chrome trick throw off. It has the black one, but, and I think this one is stepped. Let me see. Yeah, it's stepped model. But ash drum, again, classic drum, can't go wrong. It actually goes in that space right there. So yeah, great drums. I would probably say, you know, if you can get anything, you can try to get yourself one of these drums, or, you know, you don't need all of these drums. You just need, you know, I would say you need a good 2 drums, a good metal drum, a good wood drum, and you can take it from there. If you really want to be a collector, I mean, I'm a collector, yes, but I don't have, if you notice, I have groups of drums. I have groups of Ludwigs, right? Then I have groups of Ludwig here. Over here, I have a group of Brady's. So I just have, I still have my favorites. It's not like I have, you know, many different companies where I could have, you know, one of each, but I don't, because I just still have what I like. Going to the drum set, so I have here a Ludwig 1965 Super Classic. So that's a 16, 13, and the 22 bass drum is in another room. This is a BRX Birch, Pearl Masters Birch, and this kit is amazing. I think these are one of the best kits they ever made. I have it in 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, that's 8 right there. The 22, the 16, the 12. Over here is the 10 and the 14. These drums are amazing. I only wished I would have gotten them. I got this drum set in 2003. I wish I would have gotten it with the floor toms on legs. I got them suspended. But either way, great drums, still sing to this day. I think they sound better now than they did back then. But I love them, I love them. I would never get rid of them. Great drums. Right over here we have the Ludwig Classic Maple. Why did I get this drum set? Ringo. Have I used this drum set? Not one time. Bought this drum set in 2018. Brand new, I haven't even used it yet. But again, great drums. I got a 10, 12, 14, 16, 22-inch bass drum. I know it sounds good. Can't wait to play them one day eventually. Back to that Ludwig family, we got here a This is a Ludwig New Yorker. This is a 12 by 8 and a 16 by 16 and a 12 by 22 bass drum, which is in another room. I mean, these drums are in mint condition. I got it from a woman in New York who just had these drums forever and didn't want them, and I bought it from her. She had them since the 80s. Great drums, and just again, drums that don't only sound good, but just a piece of history. If you know anything about the New Yorkers were made, I would say it was a drum set that would be equivalent to the modern day Ludwig Questlove, was it the breakbeats? So it was or a hip gig kit. So basically something that you can gig around town. It was easy to get in the trunk of cabs back then. So it was called the Ludwig New Yorker because of the small, shallow bass drum. But I tell you what, don't let the shallow bass drum fool you, because it kicks. That 12 by 22 kicks. Again, under mics, even not mics. If you don't mic it up, you know, you're just playing like a gig where you don't need microphone volume, and you're just playing, it sounds amazing. Can't go wrong. And this red sparkler is awesome. I think this kit is from 1967 or somewhere around about that, but great drums. I haven't played this one out, but I have, you know, played on it a little bit. I got it last year, Thanksgiving, not 22, 21 Thanksgiving. And like I said, just great kit. Here we got a Brady Jara kit, 22, 10, 12, 14, 16, 22 kit. I got this kit from Memphis Drum Shop. Love it. I've played this a couple times. I mean, anyone who's ever played the Brady drum set or Brady stuff knows that it's just second to none. This is Jara wood. I don't know how they do it, but they somehow do it. And Brady's not even in existence anymore selling drums, so their drums are, you can only get them pre-owned from someone who may be selling them. Again, if it's something you want, I would encourage you to look out on Reverb, eBay, or, you know, drum forum sites to try to find it if someone's selling them. But you're gonna pay top dollar probably now, but great drums, you just never know. All right. This is the 10 and the 14 to that Pro Masters kit. Here's a Yamaha Oak custom kit. Got this kit back in 2011. No rhyme or reason as to why I got it, but I got it. 10, 12, 14, 16, and a 20-inch bass drum. Right here, great drums. Here's the 10-inch to that kit. Can't be beat. Love these drums. Here's some rags from Nelson's Drum Shop. Great drum shop. You know, those guys are just good guys. I always said I want to go hang out with them, and I may do that one of these fine days. Got some, you know, some shakers from them and just a bunch of stuff that helped me in my overall playing. So you got the tour. That's really what it is. This is my stuff, my drums. Got some heads over there. Again, you know, play what you love and have fun. All right. Thanks so much. Okay, so that's the end of this tour. I hope you found some excitement in some of the stuff that I have, that I'm playing. I mean, you know, any questions or comments, you can leave it below. I will answer, get back to everyone. But again, you know, play what you enjoy, play what you love. Don't get caught up with the hype of snare drums or, you know, wood choices. At the end of the day, these are drums. These are a tool that allow you to do your job. But it is fun, I must say. And I love collecting drums. If I will say one thing about all of my drums, I will say if you can get a 6.5 by 14 Ludwig 1920s heavy 2-piece shell, I would grab one. 6.5 by 14 or any shell size for that matter, I would get one. All right, have a great one. Bye-bye.